Are we ready? Well, let's say the pledge, the flag. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Shall we have a word of prayer? Lord, we thank you for this another day of life. Thank you for the many blessings that we enjoy. Our Father, I pray that this body that has come together here tonight is in the welfare of our county and of the citizens of our county, and that we want to make this a better place to live. Thank you for all you do for us. Guide us and direct us is our prayer. Amen. Well, first of all, I want to welcome everybody here, whether you're on the air or whether you're here in person, and it makes me feel like you're concerned about what we're here to do. And we are trying to get things straightened out. It may not sound like it, but we are. So with that in mind, you want to call roll?
Enzo Potter.
Here.
John Brown.
Here.
Stanley Rigsby.
Here.
Brendan Evans.
Here.
Anthony Lockett.
Here.
Stanley Franklin.
Here. All right. You want to talk about the budget? Anybody got anything to say about it?
I'd like to do number 3 before we did number 1 and 2, if possible.
I don't reckon that's against the law to get them out of line.
No. Let's do 3 and then do 1 and 2.
Okay. That first reading of the occupational tax amendment. What does it consist of?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, it's, says the first reading of it.
That's yours.
Well,
I mean, you.
What's your proposal? We've had it before.
I think we ought to read the other night to put 1% on it, if you want to borrow the people back and stuff.
Okay, now, there, as you know, the budget's in such a shape that we can't hire them. If we do hire people back, we can't pay them right now. But, I mean, in say in 2 months down the road, we can pay them.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, they can draw their unemployment between now and say the last of November. Or if, when the money's available, we'll pay them at that time.
Retroactive?
Well, I don't want to be retroactive if you draw your unemployment. I don't know what that says to it,
Or
Ron.
he's part-time, I don't think he can.
I don't think I'm gonna be able to draw it.
Well, I don't
I've
know.
drawn some conclusions, but that's not getting me.
That don't pay too good, does it, Ron?
Good, why can't we borrow the money from the road fund and pay these people and get them back to work
Well,
and pay the bill?
we borrowed them from the road fund now. We don't have anything left to borrow from the road
Well,
fund.
if we raise the occupational tax 1%, I know we're gonna have enough money to pay it
We
back.
won't have enough according to what we've done, Tammy.
Judge, we got a man here tonight that's expert on this. We'd like him to say a little something.
All right.
Tommy Fifton's around anywhere?
Yeah.
Could you come up and talk to us, Tommy?
Let me be the first to say that I understand that you have a financial situation. That you see that you're not going to have enough money to finish out the fiscal year, and I don't disagree with that. During my tenure as treasurer, I worked on over 30 budgets, prepared with the assistance of the judges and the fiscal court members. And there were many times when we had good times and bad times, both. And probably more bad times than we had good times. We always managed to make it through somehow or another. There was a time when a tax had to be put on, an occupational tax, an insurance premium tax, in order to make the general fund solvent. There are many unfunded mandates, as you're well aware of. support of the jail fund, other things that the general fund has to come up with. But in all the times that, and all the people that I worked with, and over 30 people, magistrates and judges, we never laid anybody off until it was the last resort, the very last resort. We had no other choice. I'm here to tell you tonight that you probably laid them off as the first resort. You did have another choice. You do have other choices. There are ways available to you, whether you want to do it or not, where you can borrow money from another fund to get you through a cash deficit in the general fund. The general fund always runs from boom to bust because of the timing of money that comes into the fund by the taxes. This next quarter is probably the richest time in the whole fiscal year for the general fund, because you've got insurance premiums tax, you've got your payroll tax coming in, you're also going to have property taxes coming in December. Now, there's not a thing on earth wrong with exploring the opportunity to borrow money from a fund that's got cash in it to keep these people working. You know, you're fooling with these people's livelihood here. And it needs to be a very last resort before you lay these people off. And I just think it's the wrong thing to do.
Well, Tommy, I agree with you, and I appreciate and I respect your opinion, but do you think we wanted this to happen?
I don't know whether you did or not.
Well, you
It's
know,
done, it's already done.
it's been done.
I'm saying to you that there was another way to do it.
Well, I don't,
You're gonna have a couple $100,000 coming in here in the next month or two.
we've already got about 300,000 we've got to pay back, Tom. I mean, whether you know that or not, but
Would you give him a projection so we can
I don't
study
need to see
it?
that, I don't need to see it.
Well, I mean, you have to look at
I'm
the
just telling you, I don't
information.
disagree that you're gonna run into trouble at the end of the fiscal year. I don't
Well, how are
disagree
we gonna
with
fix
that.
that?
Well, you fixed it, but apparently you've got an ordinance that you're gonna read to raise taxes.
But I don't know what the
And that's where you're
amount
gonna do it.
is, but they told me to project it on 1.5, and that won't do it.
Well, I don't know what it takes to do it.
Well, I mean, I think if you want to argue that we
I'm
can
not-
do it, that you should
I'm not here to
look at the
argue with you, I'm
projection.
no position to argue with you, I'm just laying it out as I see it.
No, I mean, I don't
I think
argue,
you've done
but
it
just,
prematurely without exploring your options.
no, Clinton.
well, I mean, you're welcome to that opinion, Tommy, but I assure you that wasn't the way it was now. And I respect you, and I respect your
And I respect
opinion.
you, I
All the
respect
way.
all these people. I've served with many of these people here, and all the people I've served with, they're all willing to compromise and try to make a decision based on the will of the people. You know, we need less brinkmanship, more leadership. I hope tonight that the court can come together and make a decision that will, move forward and, kind of get, we spent 9 months of this term kind of arguing over stuff and haven't done much.
You're exactly right, exactly
And
right.
I want everybody to work together.
We do too.
I really do.
But Tommy, I would please request that you look at the projections and tell me if you see any way that a 1.5% tax increase will generate that kind of revenue that we need.
I don't know what it's going to take to do it. I
I know, but I can give you the information. The information's sitting right here. I've given it out to you.
The point I'm trying to make is I think you're just premature laying these people off. I think you should have explored your other options.
We have explored and explored.
You know, take them to that. I'm not here to argue with you. I'm just expressing my opinion. That's all.
We appreciate it.
And it's based on, a long time of service, and we've done this hundreds and hundreds of times.
But you do know
Times that we're lean-
financial conditions change
Times that we're
too.
lean, we always manage to make it. Somehow or another. I
But you-
appreciate all of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
You do understand that financial conditions change though, right?
Judge, I'm willing to vote for a 1% increase in the payroll tax, but only if we borrow the money from the road fund and put these people back to work and pay the bills. I mean, there's no sense in these people having to be out of work and everything else while we sit here and try to get something done. I mean, this is
And if we can't do the
They're
road
right.
fund, then let's go commercial
I mean,
bank.
we
We
can't-
borrow from there.
We can't
before.
raise occupational tax 1% and borrow enough money to put these people back to work and make it, I mean, then there's something wrong.
Well, I'm not gonna sign a cold check,
Nobody's
and I
asking
want
you
the,
to sign a
it'll be
cold
cold right now, if we pay these people,
It won't be
the
if
check
you
will be
borrow,
cold.
if you borrow the money from the road
I
fund,
know.
nobody has ever asked you to write a
The
check.
money ain't gonna be
What we
there for
did
the
ask
road
you to
fund
do was
to
to
pay
borrow
what
the
we've got
money.
right now, Stanley.
To borrow the money from the road fund, put in the general fund, write the check and pay these people and put them back to work.
It won't work. We don't have the money to do that with, and come back and pay what we'll be borrowed. We're close to $300,000 right now that we're going to pay. And that's not gonna do it.
And in the road fund, if we take that, you know that we have a lot of FEMA projects to do. We have a shelter to do. We need about $500,000 out of the road fund, and that has to be paid up front, and you get reimbursed later. So if you take it out of there, we can't do those FEMA road projects or the shelters that we've approved to do. That's almost, I mean, I can't help it, that's just how it is. FEMA will not, those are reimbursable grants. I mean, I'm just telling you what it is.
Our FEMA road project should have already been done. It should already been reimbursed for them. We've had all summer.
Well, Irene, she's in charge of that. Well, if they were done, you wouldn't have road fund money, I'm just telling you.
We've been getting our reimbursement from FEMA.
It takes a while to get reimbursement from FEMA.
I know.
It takes a long time, so the money would be depleted and you'd have to lay off road workers also. So, I mean, you're going to get to the point where you're going to lay off everybody, because the road workers will have to go too once you start taking all their money. I mean, if you don't have money in the account, you can't sign a check. The information is in front of you. I would recommend you look over it. The public has the information. We'll put it on our website. Everyone can draw their own conclusions based on the projections.
Anybody know how much money we got in our road fund as of today?
It says it's right there in front of you. And there's never been a question that there's road fund money available. The ability to pay it back is the question.
But as of today, it's
Mr. County Attorney,
90, yes, sir.
if I sign a check on that restricted money, it's the same thing as me giving a cold check, correct?
I don't think that's, if you can pay back the money, then it's okay, you know, as I
But if he
said.
believes he can't,
If he believes he can, and he has a good faith belief in that, then that's his responsibility, I understand.
And I do that in good faith.
So right now, we got 890,000 in the road fund.
I don't know the figures right offhand.
Does anybody know how much the 1% tax will raise
it's all in front of you.
in 3 months' time?
Calculated. Everything's right there. $194,000.
A quarter, right?
And yeah, of course, you all haven't implemented one, so I don't know how that works, because October 1 is already passed. If you can do it retroactive, I'm not positive. We'd have to ask the county attorney, he may not know right off.
Can you guys speak up a little bit? People in the back can't really hear you. They're elderly, so can you guys speak up a little bit? Sorry. I'm young. I can't hear.
Okay.
I thought all the elderly was in the front row.
All right, Ron.
I just can't hear.
Need to take some of that road fund money and get microphones for everybody else.
There you go, there you go.
But we have never argued there wasn't road fund money. We've argued that there's an inability to pay back the road fund if we borrow it. The contention has never been that there's not road fund money. There is road fund money. We just have projected, and these are very limited expenditures, Ron, so even if you were working, there's no money in the limited expenditures we have, there's nothing to pay for any maintenance. So those POs you call and try to get, we'd have to say, no, we can't give them to you because,
Irene, you know of the no list.
yeah, I know.
Irene, do you know off the top of your head what the total of the FEMA projects are?
Not right on top of my head, but even if we had them all done, it's still gonna take months because they're working on 4 disasters in the whole state, so it's still gonna take time.
Yeah, months and months to get back. We haven't, did you schedule a meeting with Carmen, our representative, to see how fast we could get that money back if we do those projects?
She said it'd be a basic vote. I got emails today, and I called with you on it.
Okay.
She said it would be, she couldn't give a prediction date.
So that's what I'm saying, if we spend it
But
for
she
these
said
projects that y'all want to
that's
spend for
working on
us.
4 projects, so, or 4 disasters, so she said it could be months.
Months before they need the money.
It should come in before the end of the fiscal year, but
You can't even guarantee that, though.
will.
I'm not gonna say
It always does,
yes,
balance out the budgets.
100%. I don't know in the state, they don't know.
Okay. So, I mean, if we want to do those projects, though, we have to have that money available up front.
Yeah.
If we deplete our road fund, we will not have that money to do those FEMA projects. Yeah, they will.
You know, we're gonna have to have salt,
$700,000.
probably, if it's like it was last winter, we're gonna have to have a lot of salt. I don't know, I guess we already, should have, put in an order for it. I don't know what it is a ton. Anybody know what it is a ton? Salt?
I'm not sure what it is.
It was $92.
I think it's around probably $100, I don't know, but if the winter like it was last winter, we're gonna have to have a lot of it.
Well, how would that deplete the road fund?
The FEMA projects? Because we use road fund money to pay them.
I'm not talking about the FEMA project. I'm talking about if we transfer the money, pay these people and put them back to work.
You took money out of the road fund,
I understand that,
so it depletes it.
but how much would it have to be took out?
Well, right now, it shows that we have to take out at least another $119,000 just to pay October's bill.
So, by the time November rolls around, we'll be getting our tax money in.
I've projected it out through June 30, 16. If you will analyze the information in front of you, I have projected it through the end of the fiscal year, what we know we're going to get. And we will not get enough money to pay all our bills as they come due. No matter what, we can't pay the road fund back.
So if we raise the payroll tax, still,
If you raise it to 1.5, no,
somehow I had that sneaky suspicion.
because you all left out a quarter now. It took that just to get it for 3 quarters. But if you
So
don't.
what is the fix?
Pardon?
What is the fix?
The fix?
Yeah. How is it fixed?
If we had about $1 million to put in the budget, then might fix it.
Well, it's gonna take a higher,
Realistically,
I'm
what
telling
is he
you.
going to take
Well,
to fix this problem?
we're gonna have to cut costs and increase revenue, more than what
But
we
what
have.
percent tax are you talking?
Oh, I'm not, I just projected
No, I
it based
get
on
it.
what they said. I'll have to go back to the drawing board.
At
and do
present,
the-
it's a half right now, right?
Yeah, so 1.5 is what we
So
projected,
1.5 is
because
what
that's
we
what they asked me
projected.
to. I
So
didn't
the
check,
extra one that Stanley's talking about right there is not going to work.
no.
He won't
So
pay
it
us
would have
out.
to be like 1.5
Yeah,
for it to work.
Yeah.
Well, I can do those
It
projections
needs to be
also.
about 2% in order to make it work, Ronnie.
Total,
Yeah,
2%.
right. That's the raising it 1.5.
Okay.
At this point, because we missed and that's not paying for giving the sheriff a dime or paying for any repairs and maintenance on a single building here.
You're saying that's the minimum it would take?
That's the minimum to pay our debt and any other expenditures, our utilities, just those minimum expenditures.
So are you just gonna let all of the county buildings sit and no maintenance?
I'm not gonna do anything, it's not my
That's
responsibility.
not what we intend to do, Rita. That's not what we intend to do.
I mean, it wasn't in the budget, that's right, Beth is correct. Repairs and maintenance was excluded, only $5,000 was included in the budget for repairs and maintenance. So,
And we all know this project down on 7 is going to add to our burden. Everybody knows that, to know anything about the system. So, If you went down there right now, you don't have a chair to sit in or a table to work off of. So that's got to be addressed in some manner. And that's just, you know, that's neither here nor there, that's the way it is.
We're supposed to be getting that stuff donated, aren't we, Tammy?
You can go through the surplus of the state, and they will loan it to us on the agreements that they don't ever want it back. So basically, all we're waiting for is to go down there and pick it out. I mean, we've got 4 warehouses, and I know all of it's not gonna be the best stuff there is, but there is some good stuff in that warehouse.
At least we get enough to get started till we can.
Enough to get started. I mean, because I've asked him, you know, and the gentleman that I know that works down at Frankfurt with the surplus, he says there are tables, chairs, desks, file cabinets that the only thing we would be out would be for the guys to go down to Frankfurt and load it up.
And that's not included in my projections, so I expected donations for that.
Right.
So that's not included in any of this anyway. I left the wellness center out completely, except for the projection of the utilities we already know, and the insurance and such. So the wellness center isn't involved in this at all. So that's assuming that we just keep the staff we have and the health program director that is going to be paid by the health department. So that doesn't include any expenditures than what we already have for that. Let's see, if I had a calculator, I'd show you what it would generate though, if we did it up to 2%.
We could go ahead and pay the 1% and maybe look at the insurance tax in March.
Yeah, it won't be in effect till July 1. But we need to look at it, we do need to look at it.
That wouldn't be till 2016 fiscal year, would it?
Yeah, we need to look at it. And if you adopt it higher now than you want to, we can look at it and then we can reduce it at any time. If you generate the money we need right now, you can always go back and revisit it at the end of a quarter and reduce it again. Let's see, how much that was.
Any more discussion on the occupation tax amendment? Well, if not, let's back up to number 2 then and see what,
I think once we put whatever percentage, we need to have a spending limit. Anywhere from $250 to $1,000, they could notify us by way of email for us to approve. Anything above $1,000, have a meeting over it.
I wouldn't think it'd make much difference right now because we can't buy nothing the way it is.
Well,
the way it is right as we speak.
Every
I don't think
expenditure
it
that's ever been spent, you
I
all
still think once we
approved.
start collecting the money, we should be good stewards with it. I mean,
Well-
not get back in this mess again.
Oh, I agree.
I agree with you 100%.
I
We
can't
don't need to be in
believe-
this mess.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's, I'll take the blame for my part of it, and I think you fellows have to take the blame for your part of it, and maybe even the predecessor, maybe he has some blame in it too, but we need to move ahead if we can,
I mean, if we
and
move
not
on,
be done this.
number one there, the accounting books. I talked to Tony Walter the other day about the budget books, and he told me that they did not belong to any individual, that they belong to the county, and if we voted to allow Tammy to take those books home, then she should be allowed to take them home.
I don't think the books ought to leave this office regardless of who the treasurer is, whether it's me, you, or Tammy, or some of the questions we've had. I don't think the books ought to leave here.
Well, I mean,
Would it
that's
be the
my
whole
opinion.
computer system?
Huh?
The whole computer system?
No, the books that you have in the safe that you go get each time she needs something, that you said that belonged to you last couple of weeks ago.
Oh, the June 30, 15
Yes.
stays here for me to prepare for audit. Those will be audited shortly. The June 30, 15, I will make her a copy of anything she wants.
Okay, she needs a copy of those now.
And anybody else wants a copy of anything,
Anybody
more
wants a
welcome
copy
to
can
it.
have it. Yeah, we'll give you copies until you
Ronnie, if you
can.
want one, you can have one.
So anything you need, Tammy, you're saying anything you need, you ought to be able to.
Have I not given you anything you requested?
She's definitely gonna need to.
Anytime she requested anything, I give her copies of anything she wants. It's not been a problem. Anybody's welcome to it that wants it. Don't bother me. Wonderful.
I think I punched on my mouth. The only thing I had heard Jody actually say was she already has stuff ready for the audit, and that was not to leave the office. Just so
She
she
can make
had it for
copies,
the
she
audit.
can make
Oh,
copies.
we did make
We
copies.
made I'm just saying,
Yeah,
anytime,
she
I
can
was
make
just saying, I
copies.
don't want people to think that she was saying nobody could take it off. She just asked that that not be touched, because she already had it in order, ready for auditors. Just wanted to clarify that. All of it's common, and all of it's public, and all of it, we make calls for stuff laying on the desk in there. Anybody can come and get it anytime and look at it, so.
I'm sorry, I'm taking too long, but
Are you?
you all go ahead, I'm
you
just saying
gonna
what this will do.
Propose that spending limit now?
Yes, I make a motion that we put a spending limit on the money. I've got it typed out here. Anyone wants to read it? Spending limit, 250 to 1,000 must be approved by the magistrates through email. Any money above over 1,000 must be approved by the magistrates during a meeting, special call meeting, or the regular meeting.
We do
Well, that would be
every
all
meeting.
right, but at times, the road department needs more money than that on the spur of the moment. Both Lynn, me, and Gary. I mean,
We can approve that.
well, I mean, it don't matter about me, but I mean, they need to have things done.
I mean, there's not even been a time that we've ever said no.
If
That's
Lynn-
probably part of our problem too, not said no when you should have said no. That's got us in this shape, Anthony.
I agree.
And that's the reason where we're at. Right?
Okay, so you want, now how are we, because you'll need to know that. You need to make sure you're clear on what they're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, anything to you, 250 to 1,000. Anything over
Anything
1,000.
It has to
was
be a
meeting.
quorum approval of
Unless
that.
it's, like we say, with the road fund, and they should have an open PO. I mean.
They do their own,
They do their own, they'll have to contact
Okay.
you.
so they need to, we'll have to get with Gary, because Gary does the
No,
POs.
I'm saying leave the road fund to itself.
They don't have to do it, just for general and jail.
Second.
All in favor? Abstain.
That would be-
You'll repeat that again for me about the spending.
Read your limit there.
Spending limit 250 to 1,000 must be approved by the magistrates through email. Anything 1,000 or more must be approved through a special call meeting, with the exception of the road fund.
Thank you.
Do y'all wanna try the 1% for 3 months and then come back and look at it again?
Well,
Go ahead and transfer $150,000 road fund to get us going, get the workers back to work.
I do accept I can't hardly them people back right now.
But potentially, if you do the 2%, we could. If you do a 1.5 increase, I think that it could be that way, and then we'd have to wait closer to the end of the year, and we could see about where we are then and project it easier. Because if you do the 2% and you put 777,000 in as the occupational tax that we would receive over the next 2 quarters. But what you all have to understand is, that means that you wouldn't be able to help the sheriff at all. You would not be able to reimburse yourself for any conferences. You would not be able to pay any repairs and maintenance on any properties. So the judge would know that that's what he cannot issue POs for. So if you do it at that point, then we could probably bring them back and you couldn't pay for anything else besides the absolute necessities. But I mean, if you don't do anything, that's, other people are gonna not get paid the check, so.
What are we gonna do with all the money we're getting in this one?
It's gone. Look at your projection right here. It's history. It's already spent. And I mean, you all approve every expenditure that's ever happened here anyway. That's what the vendor claims list is for whenever it comes to you. I've never heard you have a problem with any of the expenditures. We don't issue POs unless it's absolute necessity because we saw this coming. Do you, Connie? But if you can do a 1.5 increase, you know, that would probably, I think that would, knowing that you can't spend on any of those other things besides what's on this projection.
Do I hear a motion to make this increase 1.5? Hearing none, I guess it's stalled amendment as of right now. So things have to stay the way they are for the time being. Hopefully in 2 months we catch back up and get things to roll again, but I don't think
We're having an occupational tax increase of some sort.
it won't roll the way it is.
Y'all won't do that to get them back to work?
It don't sound to me like it's gonna make any difference what we do.
Yeah, if you do 1.5%, we can bring them back to work.
Still ain't gonna,
Just
I
to
mean,
clarify,
they
y'all
won't
said
do nothing else.
increase to 1.5.
If we increase from 1.5 to 2,
I mean, you can't tax people to death. If we can't make it on a 1% increase, there's something wrong anyway.
It's already wrong.
well, we can look at cutting
Already
things.
wrong.
We can try to cut health insurance. We can try to, you know, cut other benefits that we don't have to pay.
We're the only outfit that I know of that's paying all the health costs the way it is.
100%.
100%, there's nobody getting that kind of deal anywhere.
So, I mean, we can look at costs too, if you all want to try to come up with a plan for a reduction in costs.
So you're gonna cut our health insurance?
I'm not doing nothing. That's up to them.
Well, that's what would have to be done if we make it work.
I'm just making suggestions.
Well,
Can I ask a question?
yes, ma'am, you certainly may.
Have you guys ever considered raising the insurance tax 0.5% and let the entire county carry the burden of this instead of putting it all on the working people?
We did, but it was too late. You have to do that it was at March after he came into office. We did not realize you had to do it by March of that year.
There's just a lot of people in this county not working that reap the benefits the same as the working people.
Right, and that's what Brandon, I think, said too. We want to look at that in March, but it will not be effective till July 1 of this next year.
I mean, you get very upset when you get your insurance notices, but it still seems
Right.
like that it should be the entire county instead of just the working people.
I understand.
Yeah, it's not a fair tax. I
No.
agree with you.
And I can understand people in the county being upset.
So would you be able to drop it if you went to 2%? And then, like, she made a good point with the insurance premium in March, if you raised it, you go
You
back
can't
down.
raise it in March. You can start it in March, but you do not raise till July 1. It doesn't become effective till July 1. And the first quarter you collect will be October.
But I mean, the following year, you might have to lower your payroll then. If you-
Oh,
if you-
yeah,
if you
yeah.
Increase the insurance premium enough. But
Right.
you might go back, you can take this 2% if it was.
You can take it back down,
Just
yes.
help offset that.
Yes, you can always change it.
Yes, sir, Mr. Engel?
I have a question maybe out in left field or right field. I don't know if Kentucky does flagpole annexation. You ever heard of that?
No.
Flagpole annexation?
Yeah, it's
No.
something in states where municipality can actually annex something while only maintaining like a right-of-way along the highway and then having an acreage at the end of that right-of-way, hence flagpole. It's like running your border up the side of the pole and then you've got this flag. And I don't know if West Liberty's interested at all to take that property on the bypass, but they can do a flagpole annexation if there is such a thing.
Are you talking about the wellness center?
Yes.
Okay, well, the county doesn't own the wellness center. Morgan County Real Properties 1 does, in a new market tax credit scenario. it's the legal issue that is very complicated.
But it seems to be a white elephant for the county right now.
Oh, I agree with you.
So why can't it be an elephant?
For somebody else, I'd say Mark Walter wouldn't take it. We can ask
He's not
him.
interested.
We've actually asked him, but no, he wasn't really interested.
No.
Well, okay, just trying to clear that up.
Thank you, though.
What are the loan rates? Anything?
We're just trying to get out of this. We haven't even, you know,
Got insurance on it?
yeah. Yeah, that's insurance.
Call somebody from a golf account.
Oh my God, you're on Tony's phone. Yeah, edit that, buddy.
Mr. County Attorney, you did hear that last remark.
You should describe that like a comment.
Get their meeting
Cody, how much do you have in your own fund as of right now today?
It says, according to the records, $832,000.
What's it take to put these people back to work monthly?
I don't know what it is monthly. I
So,
projected.
you know, I don't know that you've ever worked in anything other than your own office or whatever, but, you know, I've been in the construction industry ever since I graduated high school in coal industry. And a lot of these guys sitting here have too. And a lot of these people in this crowd have too. But your fire is your people. Not a person there can do everything. I don't know where you all was at after the tornado, but I seen every single one of your county workers busting their hump. Now, if you're gonna wait on FEMA, and Miss Irene said the right thing a while ago, you can't run scared and wait on FEMA. Katrina, those people are still waiting on money from FEMA. We'll be waiting on money from FEMA to 2023 or 24 probably, the city of West Liberty and Morgan County. Will we get another disaster? You can bet your ass, or excuse me, you can bet your hind hand that we will. The electric company, talked to Kerry Hare today. The electric company is still waiting on FEMA from the last ice storm. So you just need to look at it, guys and gals. Don't worry about FEMA. Don't be scared of the federal government. We deal with them in the fire service all the time with the federal emergency management grant. Irene deals with them. It's a waiting game. Take the money out of some other fund if you can and put your people back to work. You can't.
Well, no, we can't wait on FEMA, that's what you're saying. We want to do the FEMA work, but we can't expect them to pay us back.
So you can't
You're
take the money out of
supporting.
your own fund and put these folks back to work.
No, not if you can't pay it back, it's illegal.
I believe you can pay it back.
Miles, I'm only asking, not your, whether.
I know Miles, and I respect Miles even well, respect the lawyer, but my dad was county treasurer for 31 and a half years, and I know the law.
Okay.
And I want to say, I don't know the numbers, that's not.
That's right, I'm not asking you about numbers. I'm just saying, if the judge is confident, based on the numbers that we projected, that he cannot pay it back in good faith, he cannot sign checks using road fund money.
He has a responsibility not to sign checks that he knows that can't be repaid. You know, I don't know what the projections are. That's not what I do. I don't know if it's going to be there. I don't know if the 1% tax increase would do it. I don't know.
I know.
I answer legal questions. But yeah, your question, if you have a good faith belief, nobody should sign checks that you know the money's not in there.
And he's taking that stance, is that right?
I'm not gonna say and tell you that that's gonna work, because I don't believe that it will. We looked at it different directions all the time, all this whole time, and it won't project like that. Now, I don't wanna lay nobody off.
But he doesn't want to make them keep coming to work
I don't-
either and not drawing employment.
I don't want
with
you
some
to come
kind
to
of-
work and knowing you're not gonna get no money either. That wouldn't be fair to you either.
I have a question.
Yes, go right ahead, Charles.
If the occupation tax is raised like y'all are proposing, and what monies will you use in the meantime until that money becomes available? Will you be taking it out of the road fund at that time then?
if we know we can pay it back, we would take it
So
out
it's
of
not
it.
a sure thing, even if you pass the tax, you've got to have some.
No, I mean, we would believe currently that we could pay it back based on our projections if we can have a 2% tax. So we would be able to project that, assuming that we only pay the bills that we projected here. So that Stanley would feel comfortable signing checks because he believes the revenue would be generated. And then when we get toward the end of the fiscal year, if we're that close that we can't make it, at that point, we would have to come back and say we can't sign checks, okay? If we continue to just keep our spending where it is right now, and they would increase the revenues. And then we could revisit it if we up the insurance premium tax.
How likely would that be? How many times have the tax being raised and it going down? How likely would that happen? That's right.
Well, if we can,
It actually happened this year, believe it or not, the city
reduced theirs.
dropped this year
Yeah.
for the first time, which is almost, it's rare, but it does happen.
I just hadn't heard of it happening.
It don't happen often.
It was property taxes.
Yeah, that was property, yeah.
Somebody's heard
I can't see who you are. Is that you, Bill?
No, I just waved this one.
Oh, okay.
You should have hollered sold.
So if we put on a 1%, why can we not put on a 1% and put these people back to work and pay the bills as far as it goes? And if we see 3 months before the end of the fiscal year that there's not gonna be enough money, then stop writing checks at that time.
Because it doesn't project out to be able to pay them at all.
The projections don't.
Well, you
live up
just
to
said
that,
if we
Sam.
put on a 2%, you wasn't sure we could make it. We might have to stop writing checks a month before the end of the fiscal year. So what would be the difference?
Because it's
Stopping a
generating
month before-
$200,000 more in revenue. If you raise the tax, it generates $200,000 more in revenue, which comes close to break even based on the projections. So if you do that, we can feel a lot more confident that that the judge can sign checks for the majority of the expenditures with the payroll. And then, you know, if you do the insurance premium tax, we can look at a projection for it, and then we can reduce the occupational tax back down.
Okay, we walk out of here, just like we came in here, with nothing gained. What's next?
I don't know, if there's not an occupational tax increase, I guess a lot of people aren't going to be able to get their paychecks.
We meet again Thursday night, Ronnie.
And we walk out of there the same way we walked in
And
here.
invite you to come back then if you want to.
I mean, how long, seriously, how long can it go on like it is
It can't
right now?
continue like it is. We'll have to shut the whole government down. The county government will have to be ceased all
When's
over the
that
place.
supposed to take effect?
Well, we have
Run out of
negative
money.
balances right here, right now. I'd say when this quarterly report goes to the Department for Local Government and they see that we have unencumbered cash balances of a deficit, that they're probably not gonna be happy with that.
And that would be when?
As soon as she does her report by the 20th of this month.
And put on the bottom, when you turn that in, you all turn down to 1%.
We're trying to pass a 1% payroll tax tonight to get things back on track.
That won't do
And
it.
we were telling you, Ronnie, or Stanley, that it won't work. And
Don't
it's not
blame me,
enough.
please.
You got Ronnie on the brain now.
I mean, can we not do the 1.5 and just see what happens? Because it's still not gonna do it with 1.5.
Well, if it won't do it with 1.5, it probably wouldn't do it with 2 either.
No, I mean, it's
Why
no
don't we
way.
put on a 1 and see what happens?
Because we don't have the money now, we're gonna be,
Well, we sure ain't gonna have it if we don't put on a 1%.
no, we're not gonna have any,
Like we
nobody.
are now, we know in 3 months, we ain't gonna be no better off now than then
Do
we
you
are
see that
now.
those are in negative? Whenever she
I
brings the
see
vendor
that.
claims this
I
month,
see
you
that.
are gonna have to decide what bills to pay and which ones come first.
We've been deciding for a long time, and we ain't no better off than we was when we started. So why don't we put on a 1% increase tonight
Okay, and as soon as the money's there, we'll bring them back.
and put people back to work?
As soon as the money's there, we will.
Well, if you don't put the people back to work, I ain't voting for it.
Okay.
All right, I say let's adjourn. Do I hear a motion that we adjourn this
Ain't
meeting?
no sense in these people having to suffer because of,
What? Don't you think that we tried to do something for them?
no, I don't.
Well,
I absolutely don't.
How is it advantageous to us to have lay people off?
We don't.
Well, they're so they can draw unemployment anyway, whether you don't agree with it or not. They're drawing
That's fine,
unemployment.
if you disagree, I don't have no problem with that, but I just don't think if we lose people in our county, we're appalled.
Yes, ma'am, Carol, yeah, go right ahead.
Thank you, Mr. If we got all this money in the road fund, why isn't our roads getting fixed? I was over Jones Street Road a couple weeks ago, and I would be in Frankfurt if I lived on that road and it wasn't getting fixed. And the school bus runs on there. We should be taking this money and fixing these roads up that washed out in the flood.
Well, that's the FEMA projects you're talking about probably. And we can go ahead and start doing those, but what I'm saying is, the money that's Irene, could you please tell us approximately how much each of those projects are gonna cost, the shelter and the FEMA
We've not
roads?
even started on the light.
No, but what it is.
July, but the first three.
The ones you gave me detail
Over
of.
$400,000.
And the shelter is what? 200?
$267,000.
So 660-some thousand of this money, if we went ahead and did the roads like you want us to, we would be 660,000 less than the 882 we have here, which would bring us down to 220, and that won't get our road fund through hardly anything, because it's very expensive for the road fund to operate. That's where we have the most employees. So we'd be like, we may not call them laying them off, but we wouldn't be able to write a check for them, whenever that, came up. So if they want to do the FEMA projects, we need to go ahead and get started on that out of the road fund. If we do that, we don't have money there to be playing around with for the general fund or the jail fund. Okay.
One more question and I'm quit.
No. Speak on, keep on talking.
What happens if state takes over?
I have no idea.
Never been in that position before, Ronnie, don't know.
I guess
Think
they'll
we could
say,
upgrade?
I don't know, we'd be upgrading what we're doing, we can't agree the way it is. It would have been an improvement, I would think.
Let's vote to try it that way. I'm willing to try anything at this point.
I'd
This
say,
deadlock, this gridlock thing is just, we're just kicking a dead horse. I don't know any other way to put it.
well, here's the thing.
I just really don't.
If they come in and look at the budget and actually look at the projections that they'll do, it'll be a higher rate than that 2%.
Who do I need to call to get them to come in?
Call DLG, Tony Wilder.
Commissioner Tony Wilder. We'll get you his number.
Please.
I've done talked to him, Ronnie, he don't want nothing to do with it either.
Yeah, but Stanley,
He was happy with the 1.5. He was, the other day, he
Well,
said, you all going and pass it.
Can we do
Send him these projections and see how he feels about
1.8 done to
them.
what we have. It's what he was saying.
Well, I mean, where's your all's projections? Where's your detailed information showing it will work? Please bring us something to the table.
Tony told me last week 1% would be good. He said, don't.
Well, I'm sure it'll be helpful, of course it'll help, but it will not get people back to work immediately. So bring your projections that show real numbers, that show that that will work. I brought them for you so that you could have them.
if this side can give a little, can the other side not give just a little too?
Give them what? There's no money.
No, if they're willing to go with that 1%, can't you think?
Yeah, let's do the 1%.
Let's start this way.
Yeah, let's do the 1%. He just can't sign checks because the money won't be in the bank.
I ain't getting enough now. Let somebody else sign it.
The treasurer, will you sign them if the money's not in the bank?
No.
So you've got two people that have to sign.
Money over, you wouldn't sign them then, if that money was in the bank?
Knowing you have to.
Knowing you have to pay it back.
Well, we've always.
So you got two people who won't sign it, so it's not just the judge. And they're the two that are required to sign your checks.
Give me that phone number.
You call it.
People get laid off all the time. You just have to go out and find another job until you can get called back. People draws unemployment and they lose their jobs. I mean, if there's not money to pay them, then you go somewhere else and work.
So we fully intend to try to get everybody back to work. And it's just gonna be kind of a temporary thing right now, we get revenues to going again.
Do you want to make a motion for the 1.5%?
No. Yes, ma'am.
This wouldn't be fixed for now, but in the future, does the county have any properties that they're trying to sell? And I know real estate does. Is there anything like that in the future, that we have any excess property that the county doesn't need?
Not for 7 years, because the Morgan County Rural Properties 1 and 2 owns all of it.
Pardon?
Not for 7 years, because Morgan County Real Properties 1 and 2 owns all of it. For that tax credit, we have a 7-year compliance period that we have to comply with. So we do not actually own any of our properties currently. Okay?
Why don't you raise the fee at the garbage disposal?
We should look at that.
We
That's a
did
good
raise it just a
suggestion.
little
I
bit.
mean, it's closed on Mondays. We're closed today, I found out today. 9 of us was over there. Most of them threw it out on the ground.
Right.
You're gonna have this problem continuously now on, because it's already on the streets. Bags everywhere over there. I picked some of them up, but it wasn't my job. But
Thank
need to
you.
look at- You need, Mondays is the worst day in the world to close.
Okay.
Close it on Wednesdays when the rest of the town shuts down. It goes on.
Okay.
Now on Monday, I talked to about 12 people today, and everybody brings their garbage.
Okay, so you suggest closing on Wednesday rather than Monday?
I suggest don't close it at all, but if you have to close it, make it on Wednesday when the rest of the town closes.
Well, with 2 employees there, we need to close it 1 day a week, so they're only working 40 hours a week.
Mondays is the worst day in the world to close it.
Okay.
Because you're gonna have garbage. Start it all up 4/6 and 3/6.
Okay, thank you.
Seeing everybody gathers a lot of garbage in over the weekend.
Yeah.
You can raise the fee on it. You know, you can't go any place else, say Kentucky, and get by with $1 a bag.
We did raise it a little bit back in the spring.
If it's not making money, raise the fee or cut it down.
Yeah.
It's not making money.
You know,
No.
it's a business.
It never has made money,
It's a
sir.
business, a business is in business to make money.
We lose approximately $150,000 to $175,000 on the transfer station.
Raise the fee or close it down, that's what I do.
Well, he did suggest raising fees, but it got shot down somewhat.
Well, do you need 3 people sitting in that
Well,
little
once you
voting
raise,
area?
once you raise the fee.
No, there's only 2 now.
People are gonna, people
I've been
are
there
not gonna
twice.
use it for what, they'll eventually come back.
What?
If you raise the fee, people will quit it for a while, but they will eventually come back. That's the only place in town you can go take the garbage and get it and keep it on the street. That needs to be addressed as well as putting people back to work, I'm sure. Well, that's the main concern of everybody here, is getting all the people back to work. But it should be.
All right.
I vote to raise the
Three people
fee.
sitting there. There are times there are 3 people sitting there. There are times there are 2 people sitting there. There are times 1 person's sitting there. She just happens to come along at the time there's 3 sitting there. I'll tell you what to do. These ones that complain about it, let them come up there and sit and work on a Saturday, or Monday, or Wednesday, whatever, and let 2 of them take care of it. That was just like the other day, Saturday there, me and Randy Patrick. We had to keep the garbage pushed down, the backhoes, the people, we come out over. We probably didn't skip some of them. We couldn't get them broke down because we were so busy. Times they lined up to the road. Let them come up there and sit there and work for 8 hours at it, then see how they like it. And see then if they can do it for 8 hours, if you can, let them have the job and let them go to work at it.
I will agree to pay more for my garbage. It costs me nothing to do 2 truckloads up there. And for me, I thought it's reasonable. Well, it was unreasonable because I expected to pay more. And to keep it open and to keep somebody a job, raise the fee to dump your garbage.
I think we do well to do what we do with what we got to do with. You know, our equipment's wore out and it's constantly haven't been welded on. We did get a new truck to haul back and forth to Moorhead. That's every year's business, isn't it, Larry? And we get a new truck every year.
Abandoned every year, but that's just like the truck. When you send it to the facility, it's been here for 2 years. If they sent it last year, it would have brought more money then than what it brought when it did go. What did it bring this year? How much money?
It did really well.
Yeah, for 2 years.
No, it did really well, didn't it, Linda? We only lost, what,
16,
Sale
it cost us,
and
it
what
cost
the
us
truck costs.
16,000.
You can't do it for
two
$18,000.
years.
You can buy a brand new truck for that and keep it on the road and stuff.
Oh, no, that's a good deal.
Have to keep
16,000 2 years. To answer your question, Buster, Linda said it cost 16,000 to use that truck for 2 years.
use it, 16,000
Yep.
for 2 years? Well, if you bought one, just say right now, you've got to purchase that truck and made payments on it every month, 1 whole year, what would it be? The payment would be over $5,000 a month.
Oh, yeah, that's a great deal,
Well, that
Mike.
doesn't include the truck myself. It's over $5,000 a month for the payment. So what do you want to pay? $60,000.
Now, hear any more motions about this tax deal? If not, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Don't move.
All right. Second? Somebody second?
Anthony said.
All in favor? Aye.
Your paper to adjourn, Mr. Are you in favor to adjourn? You in favor to adjourn? You want to stay here all night?